Well, welcome you yogis. This is Tom, and we are going to be doing another yoga flow right now. So we're doing a little more of a power flow. As always, we'll create some options and variations for everybody, so work at your own level. And remember, you have the opportunity to put this video on pause, take a break, come back at us. We're gonna kind of go straight through today. So typically we take various breaks, but have your water available if you need any props like blocks, straps. I'm not going to include any in the practice today, but a lot of people like to use those as assists, so please feel free to have those handy. So to start with, we're going to go and get ourselves integrated in child's pose. So get onto your mats, get yourselves into tabletop position, hands and knees on your mat, and we move ourselves into balasana, or child's pose. So take your knees to the outside edges of your mat, bring your big toes to touch behind, and then just start to shift your hips back to your heels, settling those hips to heels. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and extend those arms all the way in front of you and maybe have that forehead in connecting with the mat. A lot of us like to maybe take your forehead, put it on a block, particularly if you're having any kind of lower back pain. But this posture, child's pose, balasana, is really, really great for kind of opening up that lower back. It's also a really good hip opener. It's a very gentle hip opener, but this is where we start opening up our hips. So as you've settled in, this is called part of our integration. And what are we integrating? Mind and breath. So let's use that breath, creating a nice yogic, rhythmic flow for ourselves. Seal your lips together. Begin those inhales and exhales, nice and steady, nice and deep. So as you're developing a nice rhythm and pace for yourself, take your mind, start at the top of your head, work your way down. What is happening physically with you right now? Take a quick little inventory, a quick little assessment of what's going on. And as you identify any spots that might need a little extra attention or love, maybe you've been doing a lot of hiking or biking or walking with your dogs or just being outside, modify accordingly. Let your body lead the practice you're doing right now. So settling in, identifying any spots that need love, finding that nice rhythmic inhale and exhale through our nose. And let's go ahead and add a little bit of a constriction. So if you take your chin and slightly tilt it towards your chest, that's going to constrict the muscles in your throat. And what that does is creates a nice little hum or vibrational sound as you exhale. If you don't feel it, don't worry. Sometimes I never feel it in a practice. Sometimes I feel it all the way through. Don't get hung up on that. The important part of this controlled breath, this ujjayi breath, is the inhale and the exhale. Settling in, working into our powerful warrior's breath, our ujjayi pranayama. Now, as we move through our flow today, our sequence, I'm going to start you with the breath cue, the inhale or the exhale. Next up will be the posture we're moving ourselves into. Maybe some alignments to consider, to think about, and maybe some options or variations to those alignments, again, depending on how you're feeling today. So on your next inhale, let's bring ourselves back into tabletop. I'm going to go ahead and join you guys now. So I'm in tabletop position, hands and knees on my mat. I'm going to start looking at my alignments. I'm looking at my knees about hip distance apart, about the width of two fists. Palms under my shoulders. I like to bring my hands a little closer to each other. For me, it provides a little bit more stability. And I'll do a little cow and cat. So go ahead and exhale, round your back. Just give yourself a nice strong arch, pushing away from that mat. And then as you inhale, release your belly, head lifts up, tail lifts up. And again, let's do it again. Exhale, rounding that back, moving into cat. Good. Inhaling, releasing your belly, head lifts up. One more time. Big inhale. Then an exhale. So go ahead and give yourself a rotation with those hips. Shift them around one way and then shift them in the opposite way. Just kind of moving things, getting those hips a little bit more opened up. And we're going to get ourselves ready, working into our first segment of sun salutations. So go ahead and curl your toes under, and as you exhale, shift your hips up and move into your first down dog. So in down dog, I really want to give myself a little time here, especially since this is my first down dog of the day. So I'm going to gently walk my dog. I'm going to bend one knee, rise up with the ball of that toe, set it back down, work the other, just toggling back and forth. Sometimes people like to rise up with the balls of both toes, maybe bend those knees. Again, any kind of movement. And let the crown of your head reach towards your mat. Don't support that neck. And our arms are pretty active as well. And make sure your fingers are nice and wide. Spread them out. What that helps to do is dissipate the weight so you're not just dumping it all into your wrists. Just take a big deep breath in, look up towards your hands, and then as you exhale, step yourself forward. We're going to keep our feet about hip distance apart, again, about the width of 2 fists. Again, crown of my head's going to reach to the mat. Using gravity to help, boom, stretch out the back muscles. I'm going to soften my knees, I'm going to grab my opposite elbows, and I'm just going to gently sway a little side to side. This is our first forward fold, Uttanasana. We've softened and modified this, moving ourselves into this ragdoll position. I like to walk both hands to the outside edge of one foot, and then gently walk them back around the outside edge of the other. Sometimes I like to grab opposite elbows behind my knees, again, letting the crown of my head reach to the mat. Let's go ahead and drop your fingertips to the mat, and you can keep your feet apart. That provides a wider base of stability. So if you're feeling a little maybe a little wobbly today, this might be a good position for you to be in. Otherwise, the other option would be to toe heel your feet together. And again, we're going to soften our knees, and then as you inhale, we're going to rise to standing. And once my shoulders come up, I'm going to roll them back, and then I'm going to inhale my arms overhead into Mountain or Tadasana. Again, my shoulders are nice and relaxed. I feel really strong, really like a string is pulling through my head. Good posture, chest is up and open. We're going to do a supported back bend to start with. So take your palms, drop them to your lower back, dial those elbows behind you. As you inhale, lift your chin up. Now, press forward on that lower back first, and then as you exhale, drop into that back bend. Beautiful. Inhale, rising back up, arms overhead. Now, I'm going to bring my palms together. I'm going to soften my knees slightly, and as I exhale, I'm going to bring my hands and just slide them right down your entire front body, moving into our forward fold Uttanasana. Again, this is a nice forward fold, stretching out the backs of those legs. Right now, I'm kind of looking at the distance between my forehead and my knees. Ideally, I want my forehead to be at my knees. I'm not quite there yet. I'm still warming myself up. That's what this sun salutation sequence is all about. Now, as I inhale, I'm going to rise just to a flat back, halfway lift. This is really critical. A lot of people have their hips way shifted back, and you want to really move them forward to the point where your hips feel stacked over your ankles. That means your toes are really engaged. If it's appropriate, you might use a block, support yourself on a block, or I take my fingers and just rise them up like little spider legs. Now from here, I'm going to plant my hands and step myself back into plank. Again, in plank, I want to make sure that I'm pushing strongly away. I don't want to collapse that chest at all. I want a nice flat back. I'm going to inhale, shift myself forward. As I exhale, I'm only going to lower myself maybe halfway down, maybe 2/3, maybe just a little bend in my elbow, depending on how you're feeling. Exhale, lower down, and then I'm going to flatten my toes, and I'm going to inhale into my up dog. And remember, in my up dog, I'm really, again, pushing away the tops of my toes, my palms are the only contact I've got with the mat. My hips, my knees, my thighs are off that mat. Good, as I exhale, I'm going to move back into downward facing dog. So that's our sun salutation. We'll do that a couple more times, but let's keep moving those legs around in the meantime, getting those hamstrings really stretched out, those calf muscles, gastrocnemius and our soleus. Beautiful. On that next breath in, look up towards your hands, and as you exhale, step yourself forward. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale back to forward fold. Inhale, rising into mountain. Go slow. We're doing a nice transition from bottom to top. Open those arms nice and wide. Inhale, lift that chin up. And exhale, give yourself a nice big heart-opening back bend. Beautiful. Inhale, back into mountain. Bring those palms together. Exhale, releasing back into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant those hands. Step yourself back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down to that chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, hello up dog. And then curl those toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Again, really move those legs. If your heels are already hitting your mat, that's awesome. Really pay attention to those shoulders, pushing back. If your heels haven't hit that mat yet, then keep working those knees, Gently opening up those lower back body muscles. Take a breath in, look up towards your hands, and as you exhale, step yourself forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, let's go into our mountain Tadasana. Just do a little classic back bend. Bring those palms together, interlace your fingers, release those index fingers. Inhale, lift that chin up. Exhale, drop into your back bend. Nice. Inhale, back into our mountain. Palms are together, keep them there. Exhale, release. Riding all the way down to the floor into my forward fold. Inhale to that half lift. Plant those hands and step yourself back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale to up dog. Oh. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. All right, let's add some postures to our sequence. Take a big breath in, look up towards your hands, and as you exhale, step yourself forward. Inhale to that half lift. Exhale, back to forward fold. Now bend those knees, and as you inhale, sweep your arms by your side, moving into chair Utkatasana. Just for fun, let's exhale, sweep those arms back like airplane wings. So depending on how your shoulders are feeling and what's going on with them, this might be a perfect airplane wing is what this is called. This is where I'd like everybody to be, but we don't always have that range of motion. So if this is where you are today, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to do it at all, don't do it at all, but I'm going to exhale, sweep my arms back like airplane wings. I'm going to inhale back into chair. Palms together, exhale, release into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant my hands and step myself back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Work my chaturanga, that little push-up. Exhale, lower about halfway down. Inhale to my up dog. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Walk that dog out. All right, so we're going to inhale that right leg high, and as you exhale, take that right foot, sweep it under your body, plant it between your palms into a deep low lunge. What's going on, guys? Now I want to do a little bit of a twist here, so we're going to do a modified revolved crescent lunge. Hips are low. Option, drop that left knee to your mat for more support. Just inhale that right arm up. I'm giving myself a nice good twist, looking up towards the sky, and I've really shifted my foundational weight to my left hand. I know, my left hand. Thank you for joining me. Now let's exhale, bring that right hand back down onto your mat. Now let's change things around. We're going to inhale into warrior two. So I'm going to take my back foot, begin by spinning it flat. Ooh, I got all my little yogi assistants here. Rising up into my warrior two. So check your front foot. That knee should be right over that ankle, so it's off to the side. Adjust accordingly. Sit low, looking forward. Thank you, Pip. Breathing steady, in and out, guys. And let's exhale. Reach yourself forward, moving to extended side angle. Now, in this transition, I want to go really, really slow because we're going to be moving up and then back. So inhale, we're going to reverse our warrior. So I'm going to reach up and then maybe arc back. And if I want, I'm going to throw in a little bit of a half a body. Well, thank you for kissing me. Beautiful. Exhale, cartwheel those hands to your mat. Boom. Thank you, yogi assistant. Step that right foot back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. So you're sweeping that foot again. Plant it between your two palms. This time we're going to shift that weight onto our right hand. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Again, you can support a twist here. Exhale, bring that left hand back down. Inhale, again, rising my warrior two, beginning by spinning that back foot so it is parallel back edge of your mat. Checking my knee alignment, sitting nice and low, gazing forward. As we exhale, we're going to reach forward, moving again to extended side angle. Nice good side body stretch here. Let's work the other side. Inhale, slowing that, changing it up into reverse warrior. If you threw a bind on the first side, throw it in on the second. Beautiful. Exhale. Cartwheel those hands back to that mat. Step that front foot back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, moving things around, giving yourself some time to open those legs up. Big breath in, look up towards your hands, exhale, step, hop, or float yourself up forward. Inhale to half lift, exhale back to forward fold. Bend those knees, inhale into chair. Exhale, scoop those arms back like airplane wings. From chair, I'm shifting back into my heels, that's the classic chair. In fact, I should be able to see my toes, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a little bit of fun in here. I'm gonna just rise from the balls of my toes. I'm gonna inhale back, arms overhead. Palms gonna come together. Release those heels, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant those hands and step yourself back to plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Move it, walk it. And let's pick our pace up just a little bit here. Go ahead and inhale that right leg high, exhale to low lunge. Inhale to that warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, let's go ahead and reverse the warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse the warrior nice and slow. Exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping it back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, we got our chaturanga going on. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Walk it out, guys. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale to low lunge. Now we're going to inhale into crescent lunge. So what I like to do is first activate my foundation. So I'm going to take the ball of my left foot, push my weight against it, activate that left leg. As I inhale, I'm going to hinge up from my hips, and then I add my arms. Crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward, lengthening spine. And now we're going to do a twist. Exhale, left elbow crosses to the right knee. Pavrita, revolved crescent lunge. Every time I exhale, I'm going to press those palms together, pressing my elbow against that knee, giving myself a nice, good twist. Beautiful. Unravel the twist. Drop your hands on your mat. Inside that right foot, toe heel your right foot out of the way. I like to roll out to the knife edge. I'm going to drop my left knee, flatten my left foot, and I'm going to go down onto my forearms. And let the crown of my head just reach the mat. This is called runner's lunge, low dragon. And what we're doing is really opening those hips up. Beautiful. Now as I inhale, I'm going to bring my palms onto the mat underneath the shoulders. Step up, take that front foot, step it back into plank. I'm going to bring both my feet together in this version of plank. I'm going to bring my left hand to the center of my mat, and I'm going to actually shift forward to make sure that all the joints in my arms line up. And then I'm going to open myself into side plank, Vasisthasana. Remember, side plank, I'm pushing strongly up those hips, elevating that top leg. I'm going to exhale, bring myself back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Listen, guys, exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. Little push up there. We skipped our up dog, our chaturanga. Needed a break for that. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. And again, moving into crescent lunge, so pressing the ball of that right foot into my mat, activating that right leg. As I inhale, hinging up from my hips, adding my arms. Sitting as low as I can, keeping that center of gravity low. And then bringing those palms together, exhaling hands to heart center. Inhale, leaning forward. Exhale, twisting, always across our body. So again, as I line up those arms and press those palms together with every exhale, leveraging against that elbow to knee, twisting deeper and deeper. Beautiful. Unravel that twist. Drop those hands on your mat, this time inside that left foot. Toe heel your left foot out of the way. Drop that right knee if it feels comfortable. I like to flatten that foot and then slowly surrender onto my forearms. Again, letting the crown of my head hang nice and heavy. Again, working to open those hips up. Beautiful. As we inhale, we're going to bring those palms back to our mats, right under our shoulders. Step your front foot back into plank, and again, both feet together. This time, right hand center of the mat. Again, lining those joints in my arms up, twisting to my side plank, Vasisthasana. Beautiful. Exhaling, releasing myself back into plank. Listen up, guys. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down dog. You walk your dog out, opening things up. Another twist sequence coming up. Take a big breath in, look up towards your hands, and as you exhale, step, hop, float yourself up forward. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bending our knees, we're going to sit on our inhale into chair. Palms are going to come together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, leaning forward, and then exhale, left elbows crossing to the right knee. So check your alignment out. Make sure those knees are staying side by side, and they are. Keep those hips low. Twist. And a lot of people here like to open their arms, maybe drop the bind. Beautiful. Exhale, let's move ourselves back into chair, hands at heart center. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction. This time, right is going to twist over to the left. I did a bind in the first set, so I'm going to do it on the second as well. Beautiful. Exhale, unravel the twist. Have a seat, guys. Whew. A lot of good work. Wow, moving through it. Let's move ourselves into crow, Bakasana. We have love-hate relationships with the crow. A lot of us are still exploring our crow. A lot going on with crow. We think it's an arm balance posture, but it's really not. It's more of an inversion, head below our heart. Secret to success in crow is working our abs, keeping them nice and strong for the support in our body. Our shoulders and our chest and our arms are supporting us, but that's not where the brunt of the strength in the posture comes from. It's here, boom, all this. The way I like to get into crow, I play around with it. So I'm gonna come down into a modified squat. And I'm gonna open my knees up and I'm gonna plant my hands forward. Fingers are really wide, I put my knees sort of on the outside edges of my triceps. Now I've activated my core, which means I've tensed up those stomach muscles, a little like an isometric. Tense them up, rise up on my toes, shift myself forward, looking forward, picking up one foot, I'm gonna go ahead and picking up the other. Trying to get my big toes together to touch. And I'm in crow. Beautiful. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Nice. Big breath in. Look up towards the top of your mat. Exhale, step yourself forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. I'm going to inhale back into my mountain Tadasana. I'm going to start with some one-legged mountain. So I'm going to shift my weight onto my left foot. I'm going to soften that left knee slightly. That's going to give me more balance and support. I'm not going to bend it, I'm going to just soften it. Okay, so I'm not going to lock it out, I'm not going to bend it, somewhere in between. Now my weight shifted to that left side. Inhale, right knee up. 90 degrees right here. Oops, Katasana. Foot is flexed. I want to feel like I'm pulling those toes up towards my shin. Beautiful. If you want, you can kick that heel out in front of you. Go ahead, bend that knee to 90 degrees, palm together, exhale, hands to heart center. Take that right ankle, cross it over your left knee, opening up to a little figure four. And if you'd like, you can slowly sit back into chair. So exhale, take an elbow to knee, elbow to ankle. And maybe go ahead and release into a standing forward fold. Activate those core muscles right here. And then slowly inhale, rise back up into mountain. Right knee in front. Exhale, bring that right foot down to the mat. Good, let's work the second side. This time the weight shifts the other way, so on to the right. Again, softening that knee. Inhale, left knee up, flexing that toe. Kicking that heel out. Bending that knee back to 90 degrees, palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Take that ankle to your knee. You can hang out here, guys, if you'd like, or exhale, sit back into that chair. And then if you release from the forward fold on the first side, you can do it on the second. And then slowly activate that core. Again, get those isometric muscles working for yourself for control. Inhale, rise back up. Arms overhead, left knee in front. Put that left foot back on your mat. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Awesome. Nice tree, or nice one-legged mountain. A lot going on in that one-legged mountain. We added some elements to it. Now I want to move into tree. So, options for tree. I have to help myself into tree, so I just can't naturally take that leg and bring it on up. I need to actually, boom, help myself up. That's most of us. So embrace it. Use those skills. You've got them. So I'm going to bring my feet together. Inhale, arms overhead in a mountain. Palms are going to come together. I'm going to exhale my hands to heart center. This, we're standing to prep ourselves for tree, is actually a yoga posture called standing at attention. Otherwise in Sanskrit known as samastitihi. It's all like someone's laughing. So I'm going to move into tree pose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the weight again onto my left foot. I like to go in stages in a process. So I don't know quite how I feel on a balanced day. So I'm just going to begin by kicking my right knee out, creating a little kickstand with my foot. Level 1, I'm feeling pretty okay. Next level, if I want to give myself a little bit more of a challenge, I might take my foot to my calf. I'm going to make sure that knee is out to the side. Still feeling pretty good. Next level up from here, we take that foot above the knee to the inner thigh, knee off to the side, hands at heart center. You're in tree. Vrikshasana. Now if you want to go a little bit deeper or more into tree, you can raise those arms overhead, extend them up, open them up nice and wide. Keep those shoulder blades rotating back. Lift that chin up. Beautiful. Bring those palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release that right foot back down. Shake it out a little bit. Let's work the second side. So grounding down through the right side this time. Again, start by kicking that foot out, seeing how you're feeling. Different sides of your body is going to feel differently. I'm right-handed, so I feel like all my right side is right dominant. But sometimes my left side is more flexible, more limber. Because I'm compensating over here, bearing some more weight from over here. That's how it works. So I'm going to, again, go slowly, bring the bottom of my foot to my calf. Maybe bring it up to that inner thigh like I did on the first side. And then I'm going to hopefully not fall over. And then if you want, I was a big sort of wide canopy tree. Maybe I'll do a little reverse prayer on this side. Work those shoulder blades a little bit more. Again, lifting that chin up adds a little bit of an extra challenge. Beautiful. Palms come together, exhale, hands to our center. Release that foot back down to your mat. Awesome. Shake it out, guys. All right, let's go ahead and step to the tops of our mats. Let's inhale into Mountain Tadasana. Open those arms wide. Inhale, lift that chin up. Exhale, back bend. Nice. Inhale, back to mountain. Palms together. Exhale, hinging at that waist, releasing into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant those hands and step yourself back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale to up dog. Good. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's get ourselves prepped up for some Trikonasana. Inhale that right leg high. Exhale to low lunge. I'm going to inhale to my warrior two. So inhale, rising on up, checking my back foot. I want to make sure this warrior two is a little bit longer than the first sequence of warrior twos that I did. This helps get a nice, strong triangle. So I'm going to maybe take that front foot, move it forward a little bit. Looking forward. Now inhale, I'm going to straighten that front knee. As I exhale, I'm going to reach forward and then just tilt into side triangle. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly rise back up. I'll take this front foot, I'm going to shift it so that it's parallel to my back foot. Arms out like the letter T, hinging at my waist. I'm doing a standing wide leg forward fold. So as I exhale, hinge here, releasing into that nice forward fold. And again, if I'd like to, I can plant my hands under my head, stretch those legs out a little further, get the crown of my head onto my mat. Giving myself the ultimate stretch here. I'm going to release my arms out like the letter T. Inhale, rise back up. Front foot, I'm going to shift it, so I'm pointing it forward. I'm going to exhale back into my warrior two. Inhale, reverse my warrior. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping it back into my plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Ooh. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, left leg high, and then exhale to low lunge. Inhale again into my warrior two, so I'm looking at that back foot, make sure I got good foundation. Stretching out just a little bit longer than my first round of warriors. And inhale, straighten that front knee. Exhale, reach forward, moving into that nice, sharp, strong sequence of triangles. Really lifting up through my ribs. Bring those fingertips up. And slowly inhale, rise to standing. Front foot again is going to shift, parallel to my back foot. Drop my hands behind me, interlace those fingers into a bind. Let's open that chest up a little bit. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, drop back. Inhale, back to neutral. And then exhale, wide leg forward fold. Hands are staying in that bind, moving those arms away from our back. Again, letting the crown of our head reach the mat. And slowly those shoulders will give way, they'll open up. It's just body weight and gravity that's working on your shoulders right now. No extra resistance than that. But that is resistance, so be careful. Keeping those hands bound together, we're going to inhale, rise all the way back up to standing. Release your arms out like the letter T. Front foot shifts, so it's pointing towards the front. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And again, exhale, hands to the mat, step it back into plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale to up dog. Oh. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's pedal those legs out. We're going to inhale into plank. And we're going to exhale, lower ourselves all the way down to that mat. We're going to keep our feet either together or slightly apart, your choice. Extend your arms on either side of you. Giving myself little spider fingers. Moving into locust. So as I inhale, I like to bring my legs up first and then my chest follows, arms fly up. My favorite version of this is with a bind, so I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back. Inhale and rise up a little higher. Lifting my chin, just the point of comfort. Beautiful, release it. Now, I'm going to put my left ear on the mat, bend my knees, and just gently windshield wiper those legs across my body. Beautiful. Come to stillness. Inhale, shift yourself into tabletop. Check those alignments. Always good to check yourselves out as you move through your workout. Curl those toes under, exhale, down dog. Oh. That feels awesome. Now, we're moving into our half pigeon. For a lot of people, this is much more accessible and a lot easier to get into on your back than a supine version. That's a pretty easy way to do it. I'm going to cue you on your prone version, so let's go ahead and inhale, right leg high. Exhale, you're going to bring that right knee to your right wrist. Now, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my left foot. So I'm going to look behind me, making sure that my foot is in alignment with my calf. It generally sickles inwards, so just make sure it's lined up. My hips are going to be really square and flat. This might be my half pigeon right here. This is perfectly fine. If you want, you can maybe add a little bit of a quad stretch here. For some of us, we like to go a little bit deeper, so you might want to surrender under your forearms. And even deeper still, you can bring your forehead to the mat. I like to do a little steeple mudra. And this is the ultimate in opening up our hips in this practice, which of course we started in our very first posture in Balasana. Beautiful. Now bring those palms under your shoulders as you inhale, press yourself up. Now step that front foot back into your plank. Go really slow. Ooh, feeling that. Now exhale into your down dog. In the down dog, let's move those legs around. Pigeon, half pigeon is what we did, creates a lot of constriction. And you might ask yourself, what are we constricting? Well, we're constricting the flow of blood. It gets a little bit sort of tingly, maybe in your foot. My knee really gets affected, so I want to get that blood flowing again. So I'm going to gently move things around, getting that blood moving quickly. So here we're releasing. And heat helps to do that. It keeps the blood closer to the surface of the skin, which helps to cool our bodies down, but also helps get that oxygenated blood to our muscles for fuel. Go ahead and inhale that left leg high. Exhale, left knee to left wrist, second side. For our half pigeon, Ekapada Rajakapotasana. Checking my foot behind me, looking at that foot, make sure it's in alignment with my calf. And again, staying here, I did a little quadricep stretch in the first set. I'll do it in the second. And then surrender on those forearms. And then again, maybe go a little deeper. Beautiful. All right, on that inhale, bring those palms under your shoulders, and like we did before, you're going to take that front foot and you step it back into plank. Woo! There goes the tingles. And then exhale into down dog. And again, begin to walk that dog out. Some people like to rotate that hip open depending on how you feel. Good. Take a breath in, look up towards your hands, step yourself forward. Go ahead and have a seat on your mat. Extend those legs out in front of you nice and long. Beautiful. Great time to grab some water if you've got it handy. So, as I mentioned in one of our first standing forward folds, my forehead should be getting as close to my knee as possible. Beginning of practice, it doesn't really work that way. I got to get myself limbered up. So now I'm going to do a seated forward fold, and this is a great place to test for that. The reason I love this seated forward fold is for a lot of reasons. The predominant reason is that I'm on my mat. I'm on the ground. There's no place for me to fall, okay? So I'm as secure foundationally that I will ever be in a forward fold. So I'm going to take that to my best advantage, and I'm going to really use it to get deeper into this posture. So I'm going to make sure I'm as connected with my sits bones to my mat, feeling those bones connect here. When I reach forward in my forward fold, if I do it this way, I'm really starting to bend from here, which is where my rib cage is. Boom, those intercostals. I want to go as deep into my hips as possible. How do I do that? Well, funny you should ask. I'm going to reach my arms overhead, and then before, I'm going to swing my arms out in front of me, and I feel like I'm grabbing for way beyond my toes. And I'm going to kind of keep my chest up. So I'm going to cantilever, and then I've gone deep into here. When I'm in here, slowly start rounding that back. And I'm going to go ahead and tuck my chin a little bit towards my chest. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and inhale, rise back up. Let's shift myself forward just a little bit. Arms are going to stay extended in front of me. I'm going to exhale slowly using my core. I'm going to slowly curve down with control all the way down onto my mat. Once I'm there, I'm going to give myself a full body stretch. And I'm going to hug those knees into my chest. Do a little roll side to side. Loosen my lower back up a little bit. Now a little happy baby. So I'm going to grab my feet, any part, the outside, the inside, your big toes. Some people keep the bottoms of their feet together, the soles of the feet, do a little happy baby this way. Not a problem. I like that version a lot. Just kind of having some fun, toggling side to side, keeping that low back connected. Now, of course, my favorite things to do, I'm going to hug those knees back to my chest, getting ready for some twisting. Send my left leg all the way down that mat. I like to take my right leg and cross it over, but I like to straighten that leg. It just gives me an extra stretch here in the back. So ideally, my arms are on either side of like the letter T, and my knee falls over. But if I want to straighten my leg, what I do is I'm going to grab my big toe on my right foot first, straighten that leg out, then let it cascade to the side, and I'm going to look over my right shoulder. I am really making sure to keep my shoulders, especially the right side in this posture, on the mat. That's where your foundational support comes from. And once you've got that mastered, as you limber up this side body and these hips, you're going to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the twist. And just for fun, I like to kick back that left foot, just grab it, do a little pretzel action here. Beautiful. Slowly, guys, let's unravel this twist. Draw those knees back up in, nice and tight. So the right leg's going to go all the way down. And again, like I did on the first side, I'm going to grab my big toe on the left foot, straighten that left leg out, arms out like a letter T, cross that left leg over, looking over my left shoulder, making sure I've got good foundational support. And this, as I did on the first one, I'm going to kick my extended leg back behind me, getting a little deeper stretch in my quads. Beautiful. Slowly unravel that twist. Draw those knees back up into your chest and give yourself that movement side to side. All right, that's a nice good flow. There's sometimes those postures that you're either working on, that you want to play with, or maybe that you'd love to do that we didn't do. I like to work on postures because at the end of a practice, I'm pretty limbered up, or as limber as I'm going to be for that day. So it gives me an opportunity to play around with some stuff. I'm going to move and play with some plow. I like this posture a lot. And a friend of mine in Northern California has a wonderful movement system called Primal Movement. And I've learned a lot from watching her Instagram accounts, and she's brilliant. And she talks about foundational support, and she uses plow as a really great example of this. So what she does is you're laying out and your palms are flat, facing down on your mat, and you're using your palms and your forearms, and you're pressing into that mat. That's your foundation. Flex those toes up. Tuck your chin and then rise up. So my shoulders are off the, I'm looking all the way down my body. Now pressing in, I'm going to bring my knees up to 90 degrees. And then I'm going to further start shifting my center of gravity to my shoulders. So I'm going to rise my hips up and then start to straighten those legs out. Bend those knees. I'm going to go to shoulder stands from here. If you want to play around with anything, wheel is always fun. Bridge is nice. Boom. Play around, have some fun, and when you're ready, bring yourself into Shavasana, which means you're going to give yourself a nice, good, long spine on the mat, arms by your side, opening those legs out. If you're still working in your Ujjayi breath, release it, keep your lips sealed, keep that breath rhythmic and flowing. Breath is life because breath is oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. So we're getting the waste of the carbon dioxide, which is what our muscles create, that lactate, and bringing in fresh oxygen that helps our muscles bring fuel through the blood system. So just hang out in Shavasana. Give yourself a little pat on the back for making it through one more day in isolation and working to your best to benefit. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a full body stretch. We're bringing my legs together, stretching those arms up overhead, and drawing my knees up into my chest, giving it a big hug. Let's take some time to roll side to side. Always a good idea when I'm here. And we release that right arm up overhead, and then gently roll to that right side. Oh, I can stay here all day. And push myself up to seated on my mat. This is the last posture we're going to do. It's called easy pose. It's actually a yoga thing. Sukhasana. Easy pose is anything that feels easy to you. So for some people, this is not so easy. Some people do lotus legs, which is really awesome, really great hip flexibility. That's perfect. Some people like their legs out in front of them like this, or open up like the letter V, whatever works for you. And you can move your hands here at your knees, bring your hands to heart center, close your eyes. So we started our practice by taking a quick physical assessment of how we felt, what was going on with us physically, were there muscles that were sore or joints that were tender? So do it again. We've practiced now. We've done a nice little workout together. So take that quick assessment. Come out the other side. How do you feel different? Just do a little checklist in your head. Oh, my shoulders feel better. Oh, wow, my back. Ooh, got to work on that. Bring our thumbs to that third eye, the spot between our eyebrows. And guys, from my heart to yours, thank you for joining me. Namaste. If you have any questions, comments, or if you're working on some postures, please send me an email. I send these links out via email, so send me an email back. Maybe you want to work on a specific posture. I've had Bird of Paradise. Come here, Gus. Yeah, this is my yogi assistant, Gus. Which is always a fun one to do. If we do Bird of Paradise, we're going to have to work on hamstrings. So we'll spend some extra time opening up hamstrings and getting ourselves set up for that. So in the meantime, guys, do your practice, do what feels good, keep yourself sane, keep yourself healthy, stay off the news. I don't think that's doing us any good. And hopefully I will see you very soon in real life. Again, thank you so much. Yeah, Gus.